Hey everyone, this is Milton. Thanks for joining me today. Hey, I want to continue the conversation that we've been having the last few weeks on the American Dream. If you haven't seen those two videos I put out, I'm going to link them up above so you can check them out. And I really want to thank you guys for the conversation, the insight, the different opinions. It's been great. It's been very helpful, hopefully to everyone, to be able to discuss this openly and honestly, to share their truths. And I also want you to check out a video my wife, Synolve, did on the American Dream, how she tells the story of her grandmother, how she worked her entire life, and the day before she was to retire, she passed away. Please be sure to go to Synolve's channel and check that out. So today I want to talk about what happens once you realize that the dream is not going to work for you, that the nightmare is still real. What are you going to do now since the dream didn't work out? So let's talk about that. Hey everyone, again, this is Milton and Man on a Mission. Thank you so much for joining me here today to continue this conversation on the American Dream. So I want to share my story today of what happened to me and during this American Dream, so you can kind of see where I'm coming from and see if that relates to you in some sort of way. Have you ever gone to work and you get there and there's a sign on the door that says, "We're closed, out of business. The company's just gone." Overnight. Now you went to work the day before, but you came to work, and that morning, as soon as you get there, you see people outside and you see a sign on the door that says, "We're closed, out of business." What are you supposed to do? That happened to me. And the next thing that happened to me during this American journey, I went to work one day and I got there and I sat down at my desk and I opened an email, and the email says, "We no longer need your service. We no longer need your service." Now, I've been working for the company over 20 plus years, and I've given everything to them. I've worked over, I've worked long hours, weekend, even some holidays. And for me to come in and sit down at my desk and I see a sign on an email that says, "We no longer need your services." Just imagine how I felt in that moment. It was really painful. But the one that hurt me the most, and that's really shook me up to make me realize that this dream is just a nightmare, is when you go to work, you get there, and your things are packed in a little box. And you're wondering, are we changing offices? Are we moving to a new building? Are we doing something different? And by the time you go through your box to say, "Yeah, this is my stuff," your boss comes out and says, "Hey, we gotta let you go. You're fired because we're making some changes to the company." You're like, wait a minute, did I do something wrong? "No, you didn't do anything wrong. We just need to make some changes around here." What? 20, 30 years? And now you're gonna tell me just out of the blue that I'm fired? But that's what can happen to you in this great American dream. At the whim of a wind blowing, you can be faced with all kind of new circumstances and situations that you were never prepared to deal with. That's just part of the dream. There's no loyalty. There's no value. I mean, companies don't value you. They don't put any stock in you other than to use you. But when it comes to thinking about your livelihood and how this is going to affect you, they could care less. If anybody can bring you to work the next day and have a sign on the door that says, "We're closed," without notifying you weeks in advance to give you time to go look for something else or to prepare to make a change, that shows you how much they care about you. So once all these things happen, what are you supposed to do? Sit there and cry? Sit there and pout and get mad, run in the office and shake the doors and do all of that? You can't do that. You can't do that, because then they'll be trying to arrest you and get you locked up, saying that you're destroying their property, you're disturbing the peace, you're upsetting their business. You can't do that. You've got to walk away with this, empty hand, nothing. They leave you with nothing. You've given them everything, all of those years, all that time and all that service, to walk away with this. Can't even hold anything in it, nothing. So you got to make a decision. What are you going to do now? So let me tell you what you need to do. The thing that you need to do is to invest in yourself. Invest in yourself. You are your biggest asset that you could ever have. Invest in yourself. That same time, that same drive, that same commitment, those long hours, that dedication, that extra learning, that extra training, whatever you did to make them successful, invest that same energy into yourself to make you successful, to make you achieve the things that you've always known that were inside of you to be achieved. But you weren't given the opportunity to do so because you were giving all of that to somebody else. But now you really don't have a choice. You can give it to yourself, to invest in yourself, to start that startup, that business, that thing that you've always wanted to do. You can now do it. Like with anything new, we're going to always find a reason to say why we can't do it. Or we're going to always find something that will delay us from doing it. So let me tell you the first thing that you think of when it happens. The first thing you think of, number one, I no longer have a paycheck. Where am I going to get money from each week to do this? You ain't got no job, so it really don't make no difference. Number two, I don't have any health benefits. How am I going to take care of my kids if they get sick? You don't have a job, so you don't have health benefits anyway. Number three, retirement. I no longer have a retirement plan. What am I going to do if I need some extra money? You don't have a job. You ain't got no retirement plan anyway. So those three things that we put at the top of the list can be thrown out of the window. You no longer have that job, so you no longer have those three things anymore coming in. You don't have a paycheck, you don't have a health benefits, and you don't have a retirement plan. They're gone. They were attached to the job. The job is no longer there. We've got to figure something else out. Now you woke up from waddling and feeling sad and feeling sorry because they did you wrong. Yeah, they did you wrong. They did me wrong too. And there's really nothing we can do about it but say a few words in the closet, throw a few hand signs up in the closet, but we have to move on. So what are we going to do now to start investing in ourselves to create our own dreams? Dreams that we needed to create from the beginning instead of getting caught up in a system that says with hard work, dedication, you'd have upward mobility in this great system. You got upward mobility, upward up out of there. That's the upward mobility you got, up out of there. So what are we going to do now? So how are we going to get this thing going to reinvest in ourselves? Let me tell you what you need to do. The first thing that you need to do, which is hard for some people to realize, you need to understand this is where you are. You need to understand that job is gone. There's nothing you can do about it, and this is the reality that you're dealing with right now. You no longer have a job. It's gone. Own it, accept it, and let's move on from it. The second thing is you need to change your mindset on how you view work, how you view success, how you view living your own dream. You need to focus on what you want and figure out ways how to get it. Now, the third thing is think about what you're good at. Think about some of the things that you are really, really good at, that you really like doing, that services or goods you provide or services that you provide that you're really good at and people really enjoy it when you do it. Think about those things. Those are the things that you need to look at going into business to do because you're good at it. You're already good at it. All you need to do is invest a little bit more time, a little bit more skills and knowledge into that to make that into the business that you want to start. And the most important thing, number 4, is just do it. Do it. Yes. Take that step. Invest in it. Make it happen. Now we're going to sit back and say, okay, you're sitting here telling me I need to invest in a business. I don't have a job. I don't have any money coming in. How am I supposed to fund this thing? Well, you'll be surprised at what you have laying around the house. There are so many assets that we overlook that are laying right there in our home that we can use to start this business. Now, we may not use the conventional methods of going to a bank because we don't have a job for collateral. So we have to be a little bit more creative. So when I say be creative, I mean, look at the assets you have. Now, some things you may be able to sell, some things you may be able to trade, some things you may just be able to barter. That's money. That's revenue. You may not look at it as that right now, but that's exactly what it is. That's revenue that can help you to get that business started. And don't be afraid to ask family and friends to pitch in and help out. They know you're in a tight bind. They know you're going through a rough situation. They may not mind helping you out. Everything that I'm telling you is the exact things that I did when it happened to me. I did those exact things. I sat down and I acknowledged the fact that this is real. I had a mindset change to focus on doing the business, creating the business that I need to create. I looked at all of my assets and everything that I had to figure out what I could do, what I needed to do, and then I just did it. I borrowed from friends and family to get me started. I had friends and family to come help work with me, to give their time and their service to help me get started. So don't be afraid to ask your friends and family for help, because once we wake up from this American nightmare and focus on reinvesting in ourselves, you will see things in a whole new different light. It will be better. It'll help you to understand that you have value, you have worth, and you will no longer be undervalued because you are the one driving the train now. You're not depending on anyone else for anything. You are the one that makes all the calls. So hey, thanks for joining me here today at Man on a Mission. I hope we continue this conversation on the American Dream. I hope this video helps you to see that you can achieve the things that you need to achieve. And I look forward to talking to you in the next video.